Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons settings and which settings get a renewal. Essentially, like the best way to think about these new settings is a hotel refurbishment, right? A renovation, a hotel renovation, right? Like so, basically an existing. So we just had this with Dragonlance, an existing setting. And it's completely renovated. It's completely new. It's fresh. All the carpet is new. All the paint on the walls is new. All new tech inside, right? Same location, right? And literally even the walls might be the same, right? Or they might have dropped down some walls, set up some new walls, put on a new wing. But that's the best way to think about these. But I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons setting renewal in context to Tom Cruise, right? Because we just got a Tom Cruise sequel, right? But why did we get the Tom Cruise sequel that we got? And when we think about that, when we start to think about the thought process that goes into what Tom Cruise movies get a sequel, it helps us to think about what thought process goes into which settings for Dungeons and Dragons gets renewal. Okay, so let's dig into this. All right, so first of all, what Tom Cruise movie did we just get a sequel to? Top Gun got Top Gun Maverick, right? But when we put that into place, what did not get a sequel? First of all, Days of Thunder. I just rewatched Days of Thunder. Cole Trickle's in there. That is a fantastic movie, right? We did not get a sequel to it. All the Right Moves. Tom Cruise as a football player, right? Why didn't we get a sequel to that, right? Here's another good one. Edge of Tomorrow with Emily Blunt. I'm rewatching that right now, right? It is a fantastic film with amazing special effects and unbelievable action. Why didn't we get a sequel, right? And so basically, one of the things that's fascinating is when we look at Tom Cruise, he has the most successful, career going in Hollywood right now. He just had a $1 billion relaunch of a brand new franchise, right? He has been crushing it for decades, right? And really, when you think about it, Tom Cruise is to movies as Dungeons and Dragons is to tabletop role-playing to tabletop role-playing games. Nobody accomplishes what Tom Cruise accomplishes. Nobody, right? And you're like, oh, Scott, what about the people in the Marvel? That's not their careers. What about the people in the Marvel movies like Robert Downey? Robert Downey Jr. sucks outside of the Marvel, right? He can't do nothing. Anybody see Dr. Dolittle by chance? Right? All that's happening there is we've seen this thing where we've definitely seen this issue where you can have a very successful career. You can have a career if you're in a Marvel. Marvel can create careers, right? But Tom Cruise, he creates series. It's not the other way around, right? Everybody in the Marvel movies is like, oh, I can collect a check from Marvel, but I can't produce anything outside of that, right? Hemsworth have proved this. Oh my gosh, Scarlett Johansson proved this. Robert Downey Jr. has proved this. No one is able to surpass what's done on Marvel, right? But Tom Cruise, he can set up entire new series, right? And that's the same with Dungeons and Dragons, right? Dungeons and Dragons, if they drop a new setting, Exandria, Matthew Mercer, right? Dungeons and Dragons brought success to Matthew Mercer's Exandria, right? And we know this because what has Matthew Mercer done outside of Dungeons and Dragons? Jack all and nothing. I heard he created a hardback, the Tal'Doria hardback book that Sly Flourish said was bowed on quite a few numbers of the books, like some junk, setting that nobody cares, some junk section of the, so he did an independent publishing of a portion of what he established as a canon existing Dungeons and Dragons setting. Again, and so Tom Cruise is out there and he's doing the real deal, right? So let's think it through, right? So why did we not get a sequel? Let's talk right through these, right? Why did we not get a sequel to Days of Thunder? Well, I think the reason why is NASCAR doesn't matter right now. NASCAR has proven that they can make money in the South, period, end of sentence. And Yankees don't give a rat's about NASCAR. That's the whole of it, right? And they really can't grow it beyond the South, right? And so, like, for instance, Dark Sun, right? So are we going to get a Dark Sun hotel renovation? No, we're not. And the reason why is Dark Sun says, hey, the gods aren't real, right? But every other setting says, hey, the gods are real, right? So it doesn't make any sense to bring Dark Sun forward, right? And so we're never going to see a 5th edition or a 6th edition Dark Sun relaunch, right? Edge of Tomorrow, right? That's a really good question, right? So first of all, the reason why you're not going to see an Edge of Tomorrow sequel, I think, is because it was anime based, and right now, all live action anime content is utter garbage, right? Like, they cannot make any of it stick. Not like every single anime live action that's created is a hard reject from American audiences. There's never been any success for any of them. Not even Pokemon could do a live action, launch, right? And if you're not aware, Edge of Tomorrow is a remake of a manga, which is called All You Need Is Kill, right? And so then what are we still waiting for, right? Well, first of all, we got a lot. We got Dragonlance this year, we got Spelljammer this year. But what are we still missing? What's out there in the Rokugan, right? So Rokugan is the biggest one, right? So originally named Oriental Adventures, are we going to get a new Oriental Adventures? Boy, oh boy, like that one right there, you can't touch it because it has there's this question of, can we do region-based, ethnicity-based setting? And I think the hard answer is no, we cannot, right? So you're never going to see Oriental Adventures return, right? Blackmore, right? So let's go to All the Right Moves, right? Why aren't we going to see that, right? Well, first of all, in order to make that, I think you would really need, it wouldn't make sense to do it outside of the NFL, right? And at this point, I don't think the NFL is willing to allow there really aren't any NFL-based films, right? And the NFL doesn't know what it wants to do with movies, right? So I think the answer there is no, right? So Blackmore, right? That is Arneson's setting. Right? Well, Arneson is odd man out, man. I really think everybody wants Arneson to just fall off of the body of Dungeons and Dragons like a vestigial nub, because that's what he is. He really was, he talked with Gary Gygax on the phone, did nothing when it came time to work, right? More than talk. And in addition to that, he really, when it came time to get the job done and get the money, Gary took care of all of that, right? And I feel like Arneson really had very little innovation and had virtually no energy, right? And so people just want to see Blackmore forgotten, just like they want to see Dave Arneson forgotten. I definitely want to see that. So when we look at Tom Cruise's movies, you see there's a myriad of reasons why they don't get sequels, and some do, right? And I think Spelljammer and Dragonlance, they were prime, right? But the settings that we're not seeing, there are distinct reasons why we're not seeing them, right? And I think thinking about Dungeons & Dragons in the context to Tom Cruise is very right. Like, highly successful, highly American, highly popular, right? And I think when we think about it, Dungeons & Dragons truly is the Tom Cruise of the tabletop role-playing game movie. D&D is to TPRG industry the way Tom Cruise is to Hollywood, right? D&D can do things that just nobody else can. And there's this question too, of are Hollywood actors going to exist in the future? And there's a possibility. I see Chalamet coming up as the next Tom Cruise. Is there anything that's ever going to be able to do the job the way D&D does? I think the answer is no, because there's not a single tabletop role-playing game creator in the world that realizes you need to make a tabletop role-playing experience, not a role-playing game. Because Dungeons & Dragons was never a tabletop role-playing game, in my humble opinion. Every word of what you just heard was my humble opinion. I'd love to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.